Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Cold Beers and Curveballs.
What up, guys?
This is the winter edition, the pre-winter meetings, but we've got a lot of shit that's happened.
What? Things breaking like hours ago.
Yeah, Shiitake Ohtani. I don't think I butchered that first name. Going to the Angels.
Shiitake Ohtani.
How do you say it?
He was real disappointed that Honolulu didn't have no teams,
He was
right?
like, I was going to go drop bombs in Hawaii.
But instead, he's going to drop bombs in L.A.
Hey, when is Pearl Harbor? Wasn't that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
And now we've got the guy from Japan signing the deal.
Yeah, I know, right?
How does that happen?
I don't know. That was some timing. Nobody mentioned
bad
it.
timing.
That was interesting timing, and nobody.
So there you
mentioned
go. Cold Beers and Curveballs breaking it first with Ohtani signing the day after.
Yeah, exactly. That was his whole
Was
plan
that
all
in
along.
good or bad taste? Kind of like maybe like, hey, that's the old Japan, but now maybe we're on to the new Japan.
The new Japan is also interested in dropping bombs.
It's almost as annoying as two geriatrics screaming at each other in front of our microphones. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, it is right there.
It is right there.
No, so we're going to roll right into that. Shohei Ohtani. Shiitake Ohtani has decided to sign with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah,
Is that still their name anymore? I think they dropped the Anaheim, right?
No,
or they dropped the Los Angeles?
No, they're still Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Who cares? We know where they play. Like Disneyland, is that where they play? Disney
Something
World?
like that. I remember back in the day, back when they had people out there helping them catch balls in the outfield.
I don't think they're actually going to have a stadium next year because it's all going to burn up. Too soon?
Right, I don't know. Danny Glover was, once the manager there.
So,
and Charles in charge of our days, and he was also a pitcher.
So this is big news. This has been the number one story in the offseason because
I wouldn't know if it was number one.
Okay, look, the John Carlos stuff has all just been like, it's just been a rumor mill.
But that's all the Ohtani was until today.
No, but everybody knew it was going to actually happen with Shohei Ohtani.
But the thing was,
the John Carlos thing, for all we know, he could play for the Mariners for half the season. Like,
took my job of cussing there for a second.
He's like, hey, I'm going to get traded, and Jeter wants to trade him, and then blah, 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 this, that, and the other. No, but it's just talk.
I think...
And it's much more complicated. Everyone knew that when Shohei got posted, that the teams were going through, and there was like a clear cascade of news. This has been the number one story of the offseason.
Right. So for people who haven't been paying attention to the offseason...
Who out there? Just kidding. I mean...
Oh, I thought we had a call in. No. But no, the...
Hey, my name's Bob, and I haven't been paying attention to Shiitake.
Right. Okay, Bob, so here we go.
Let's talk to you about Shiitake Ohtani.
Let's talk to you about Sushi Ohtani.
Dallas ain't got very good sushi.
They don't have good sushi. That's why he's in L.A. But no, so what happened was, he got posted. If I was Ohtani, but... You also have to think he does.
If you were Ohtani, you sure as hell wouldn't be at
he doesn't
Ron's
have
place.
He wouldn't be at Ron's place. I'll tell you though, the thing with Ohtani is he's 23 years old. Had he waited 2 more years, he could have gotten everything in the world.
Yeah, but isn't the whole thing with the international players is nobody ever believes their birth certificates? No,
I think that's from like the Dominican area, like anything like
they're always trying to lie about their age because they grow up real fast or something.
Right. Anything north of Brazil and south of Florida, like that's where we really. What's a number? Like they start sounding like the guy trying to like be 30 years old dating a 16-year-old. What's a number? But
wow,
that's
went Roy Moore. I think I'm resigning.
Yeah, Al. When you get a little Al
Signing off, we'll try it again.
Yeah, it's only time until someone's got a Twitter post about me. #MeToo. But no,
Jesus, I thought you said you were going to upset people.
Trying not to. We're 5 minutes and 15 seconds in.
Took you 5 minutes, and I'm already getting texts from my friends.
Right?
Like, good Lord.
The Ohtani deal, he is a little injury prone. He had shoulder surgery. He had a shoulder injury at 23 years old. It could be the workload that he's been facing because he can hit 500-foot home runs and he can throw the ball 108 fucking miles an hour.
Oh, that's what they are? They're not bombs?
They're bombs.
Home runs?
They're
Big dongs? No,
I've
I'm just
already
kidding.
used my sushi, my shiitake. I don't know if I can use my dropping bombs, and we've already started conspiracy theory on the day that he signed.
Yeah. So, okay. You know,
So who
when
knows?
we
Maybe
mentioned
he
that,
had that.
I'm on that train. I'm on the, hey, he wanted to take attention away from Pearl Harbor Remembrance.
I think if he wanted to do it really though hardcore, he would have done it yesterday.
Well, I mean, sure, the announcement was today, but I mean, in Japan, probably today is yesterday and stuff. So,
I don't.
or is it the other way around? Is it December 9th
No,
over there?
'cause
Can anybody
the sun
actually
rises
tell me?
in the east, it sets in the west.
Yeah,
so
but there's the whole international
So for the-
dateline
for
and
the-
the whole Japanese hentai stuff, and I don't know. It's all very confusing.
Japanese hentai, like the fucking anime porn.
Man, we're gonna have to drop this.
We're gonna have to probably
6 minutes starting
We're
over.
gonna have to talk to.
No, so so Shohei Ohtani signed with the Angels, I think.
I think, but here's the thing, though, is I think it's good for Ohtani because Ohtani, it seems like players that come over from Japan because
We have a
Japanese-
sample size of about 25.
Yeah, got Ichiro.
Ichiro,
And
Hideki
Yu Darvish.
Matsui. We got Yu Darvish.
Right, but the guys that come over from Japan.
Oh, what about the Milwaukee guy?
Eric
Prince-
Dames?
Eric Dames.
black
yeah.
guy?
He came over from
He came back
Japan,
over
right?
From Japan.
Or was that Korea or something? I
I
don't
think
know.
he came from Korean ball. But no, the guys that come from Asia, who are, from Korea or from Japan, typically that's where most of our major league players come from that are from the Asian area. They don't want a lot of attention because it's a different mindset.
Totally different culture, different mindset.
Right.
Team first. My high school history teacher broke it down, and like he was relating it way back when we were studying East Asian cultures in high school history class about how it's baseball is the ultimate team sport in that sure like what we're about to get into is about how wow, he's on the Angels suck except for Mike Trout.
Right.
The whole thing is they have essentially the greatest player in baseball right now.
Right.
But the Angels can't make the playoffs because he's only one out of 9 hitters plus a bunch of pitchers. All these other players influence the game pretty much equally.
Right.
He only gets the same number of bats as the people in front of him and behind him. So Japan, like the culture over there, it's the ultimate team game, and like it's all about cohesion. It's not about selfishness. So it fits well with the culture over there of unity and community, and you're not bigger than everyone else.
Right.
And so it's a giant sport over there. They absolutely love their players in their league over there, and we've had there's been some really incredible players to come.
I wouldn't go on incredible. I would say there have been.
Ichiro is one of the best
good
hitters of all
players.
time.
Ichiro
Let's be honest.
Ichiro is one of the best hitters of all time.
So,
but track record shows, for the majority, you've got players like Ichiro and I would say Nomo.
Hideo Nomo was totally, breaking ground.
Right. They lived up to what the standard that everybody thought was going to be. You have players like Yu Darvish. I love Yu Darvish.
Basically lived up to the standard. I mean,
Yu Darvish. There's 3 things I've seen Yu Darvish do very well, and that's pitch in the regular season, give a very good heartfelt goodbye to the Dallas Morning News, and write a really good apology
or get injured. Yeah, number 4.
apology for losing World Series.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, with the right organization around him, he admitted himself that the Tommy John surgery really, I don't know how to put it, kind of wrecked his momentum. It messed with his head a little bit. It discouraged him. I mean, he's got the tools that Hideo Nomo has. He's almost he's close. He's a pretty damn good pitcher.
He is. I'm not going to take that away from him. But what everybody thought was going to happen hasn't happened with him.
The Cubs have had several. Japanese and Korean players. Matsui over with the Yankees. The Yankees have had several. So one of the things, it is interesting that a few of those Japanese league transfers essentially have ended up in big markets.
Right.
Well, what everybody started talking about. So like it's been a fascinating story because when this, again, like we said, this essentially is the number one story of the offseason. So everybody's writing about it. Everyone's talking about it, even before he's actually posted and available. And we actually have news. So it's all this, prognostication and rumor mill. Well, people were saying, okay, hey, the Yankees have, A, a lot of international signing bonus money, and B, name cachet because they're the freaking Yankees, and C, they won this year. They got to the playoffs. They were a really good team. They're a young team. They have so much going for them, and so people were putting them as the favorites essentially.
Right.
But that's the way we think.
Here's the thing.
We think that this shouldn't line up, but then what we realized over about a week's time is that he's not. He didn't quite think the same way, and what the things that he values is like, I don't know, a mid-sized city, small, slightly like chill environment.
Right.
He doesn't want New York City. He doesn't want that attention. He also doesn't give two shits about money because, like you were talking about, if he had come out later, if you were his agent, you would tell him to stay in Japan and then get paid $1 bazillion as a 25-year-old.
Right.
He doesn't care. He's ready to play in MLB.
Right. He's got goals to set before he's 25 years old, and that's the thing is,
so accomplishments and stuff matters to him, and he's a reserved individual. All these things, and so then the entire script was flipped, and so we had to come to terms with, he might actually think that the Padres are better than the Yankees and Red Sox and Cubs.
Or the Mariners. I mean, they're for the Wild. 20 hours ago on Instagram. Well, yeah, about 20 hours ago on Instagram.
The Mariners were totally considered the favorite.
They were. They had $1 million more to give more than the Angels. So you had 7 teams. You had the Cubs and the Rangers were the furthest east that you got.
Yes.
And then you had the Mariners. You had the Angels.
Yes.
You had the Dodgers.
Yes.
You had the Giants.
Francisco Giants.
And then you had the Padres.
Yes.
So all NL West and all AL West except for the NL Central.
Except for Cubs, yeah.
That was it.
And to be honest, I don't know. Maybe it was just like he whittled it down, down to 7. But really, it may have been. And I don't think. Maybe the Cubs were never actually all that really into it,
right?
Or, all that true.
I think for him, though, the thing that had going for the Rangers and for the Cubs was their track record. The Yu Darvish signing was a very big deal. Scouting in Asia with the Rangers is one of the top priorities.
Yeah.
The assistant GM that was working with John Daniels, really looking forward to put a lot of work in. And that was the thing was Ohtani's agent around 2 p.m. here, so about 3 hours ago, had made the comment that, they felt a real connection with everybody in the Angels organization, and that is what made them decide. It was almost more like a family decision over a business decision. And with that, it kind of, it makes you wonder, all those people that put forth all that effort, what they're thinking. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. I think it'll be interesting to see because you've got Pujols on the decline, been on the decline.
Yeah, dude, Pujols the biggest albatross of a bad contract in MLB history almost.
Right.
But, it's
in
incredibly
theory,
bad right
everybody
now.
said Pujols is going to have to go to the AL because he's going to have to be a DH.
And now, essentially, the Angels signed what a lot of people think is a DH/pitcher,
right?
Which makes it pretty complicated. So,
not really, because here's the way that I see it: they're either going to give him a day of rest before or after his start.
This is okay. Again, let's put it this way. According to conventional wisdom, right now, which we have all been proven wrong in the last week. Because he's defied that. He said, hey, no, I don't really think this way. I would rather do it this way. So maybe in a couple of years, we're talking about how Shohei Ohtani actually sucks as a hitter and is just a pitcher. Maybe we're talking about in a few years that Shohei Ohtani is a bust as a pitcher and he's an everyday left fielder. So, like, things can change. But, yes, what people are talking about, like, even things that steps that the Rangers took to try to promote the fact that they're going to do a 6-man rotation. Well, the whole point is to say, hey, okay, if Ohtani was to pitch on a Monday, he would rest the next day, and then maybe he would have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to play DH, or even in the outfield, theoretically.
Right.
And then you would have, like, Saturday to rest, and he would pitch again on Sunday, and that would be 6 days later. Well, traditionally, it would be moved up to Saturday, and so it's like one less day of hitting, and it's apparently, hitting's a big deal to him. He wants to be,
he wants to be a two-way star.
Athlete.
He's the Japanese
two-way.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth is an excellent pitcher who ended up becoming, a home run hitter unless you watch Seinfeld, and Steinbrenner on Seinfeld said that he was a fat guy with little lady legs. I mean, that was,
Yeah, but baseball in the 1920s was so different. It's one of the, like, he has little things like you mentioned, like he has an injury history.
Right.
Well, that derails your whole fucking career, doesn't it? Like, if little things like that happen, and all of a sudden you've got
with the language today.
all of a sudden you've got Tommy John surgery, and you're blowing out your elbow. Well, guess what? You're not going to be pitching. You're going to be focusing on hitting, aren't you?
Well, and that's the thing.
And it's like, well, maybe if you turn out to be a crappy outfielder, well, then you're only DHing. Well, then what if you end up with a team who doesn't want to play you on DH and they need you in the field? Like, all these things. So.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Talking to a source earlier this week about the injury that he had, shoulder injuries with pitchers now, as opposed to shoulder injuries 20 years later, is typically more of a mechanical flaw than anything.
Yeah.
Shoulders don't blow out anymore, thanks to Tom House and Nolan Ryan. They started the revolution with throwing the football because they thought of that, and also with strengthening the rotator cuff with the weighted balls and not throwing it, holding it, basically giving yourself an arm workout with bands and things like that. They went off of the tennis principle that tennis players had more elbow injuries but not as many shoulder injuries, and the reason why was they don't throw their racket. They hold on to their racket. And so that was the thing. You don't hear of a lot of shoulder injuries anymore in pitching. He had a shoulder injury which could promote tendonitis, could promote a loose labrum, which some people are just prone to. So that could be something to watch over the next couple of years. The thing with him, though, that is a sellable deal is if his arm goes, he can still hit.
Yeah, it's a different motion and all. So different skill set, different motion.
If your arm goes, you can still hit. Because you may not be as good of a pitcher, but if you're hitting 500-foot home runs, then you're still an asset to the team.
Hit big home runs, and all sins are forgiven.
Awesome.
No, it's so. Yeah, it's just a very. I guess the way to transition out of this is, hey, what are the Rangers gonna do now? Essentially, the Rangers for years have wanted Shohei Ohtani, and now they don't have him. The Rangers would have considered this offseason a great success with his signing, and now they don't have him, and so are we going to be really disappointed in a few weeks at the end of this offseason. The Rangers did not win their division. They're not catching the Astros anytime soon without a player of this caliber.
No.
And so the big thing is, and the conversation that's going on in Rangers Twitter world right now, Evan Grant putting out a poll. What do the Rangers do now? Because we've got a player like Adrian Beltre who doesn't want to play on a non-contending team.
Right.
We've got aging Cole Hamels. We've got no Yu Darvish.
Do we have Cole Hamels, or is Cole Hamels?
We got Cole Hamels, but we don't. I mean, his performance was up and down last year. He had some
we
good
got him
and
for
bad.
one more season, right?
We've got freaking Martin Perez. We're celebrating that stuff. Mike Minor is turning from a reliever to a starter, theoretically. We're also trying to turn Matt Bush into a starter, and we see how well that went.
I got two words for that.
Yeah.
Neftali Feliz.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So we see how well that went with Neftali Feliz. What do the Rangers do next? Do we blow it all up and go the route of the Houston Astros and have a couple really sucky years and try to regain our footing, in 4 years down the road? Or do we keep, trying to have a pretty good team and hanging on and hanging on and hanging on and hanging on, but never truly an elite team? The problem with that is that yes, it's going to be an unfortunate... The Rangers are about to have a new stadium in 2 years. Everyone wants to have a good product to put on the field in your brand spanking new stadium. You want the big stars like Beltran Andrews, to promote. You want proven pitchers like Cole Hamels and Yu Darvish. But maybe the Rangers' path is going to have to be, 2019 rolls around and we kind of suck. So, but it's for the better.
And that's the thing that I'm worried about is that we're going to try and hold on to this, try to hold on to this season to try and sell this brand because we're getting a new stadium, 2020?
And see, I totally get it. If you say you're a pretty good team and we were essentially a 500 team last year.
Right.
And we felt like we were disappointed. We felt like we should have been doing better, and we feel like we have a good manager and we have good veteran players. We have talent here and there. And you feel like, hey, we set ourselves up with success. We have all this international signing pool money. We have a good relationship with Ohtani's people. We're going to get Ohtani. It's going to catapult us back to the top of the division. But now you have to reevaluate everything and say, hey, okay, we don't have any Ohtani, and we might just need to blow this whole thing up. So for Rangers fans, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a bleak next 3 or 4 years.
See, and that's the problem that we're with the Rangers is we're not at that point with the Rangers where we can look at, signing a couple of... We're only 2 players away because we're not 2 players away. We signed...
we're 10 players away.
We signed a second baseman to a long-term contract that the best hit he had was a couple of seasons ago back in May when he knocked the shit out of Jose Bautista. He hits 32 home runs, but he has a OPS of 280? You can't win games on solo home runs. You had Joey Gallo. You just didn't have anybody on base. And you didn't have a pitching staff. And here we are hiring this guy by the last name of Minor, who should stay there with his last name in the minors. We got all hot and heavy over signing Barnett back.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That looked really well. The 2 games I went to when Barnett pitched, I went ahead and got up and walked around because I figured, I might as well just go to the car. The beer's cheaper in the car than it is here at Globe Life. But it's one of those things where I could see this being one of those things with, something to maybe turn the mood around. Maybe something to dim the sad music that plays in the background as you slowly stop hearing the crowd as, you watch your closer get rocked every game that he pitched for the first 9 or 10 games, then we finally fucking stopped pitching him.
Hey, good news. We're not going to try to roll out Sam Dyson.
Yeah, Sam Dyson,
also,
guys.
Yeah, we don't have a closer. But we're pulling Matt Bush away. No. We question mark have Matt Bush because they act like they're going to make him a starter. So then once again, we're going into the season with no closer. It's one of those situations. I think the thing that we're going to be watching now is, will we bring Yu Darvish back? He actually, so there was a cool interaction. Emily Jones,
which by the way, Emily Jones,
reporter with the Rangers all the time, super cool.
Where is Emily Jones?
She's probably just enjoying her off-season.
We should get her on here on the off-season.
We should. And get her to talk about you, Darvish.
Maybe get her here by Ron's place.
I bet she'd love it.
I bet the first time she meets me, she's going to get back on that Twitter and on that Instagram and get rid of that McCoy name, try to make it seem like she's single.
Shut up. Emily Jones was chatting with you, Darvish, on Twitter, and you, Darvish, said...
Emily knows Japanese?
No, you Darvish knows English. Oh, breaking.
Oh, the tides have changed.
So, I mean, you kind of made it sound like he would like to be back here. I think it wasn't all that convincing. I think it's kind of a little bit of a, it'd be super cool, but I'm not necessarily promising it. But then the way it came across is like, yes, totally, I'll be signing with the Rangers. So, I mean, clearly he's interested in coming back. That would definitely give the Rangers some optimism going into the season. But maybe we're just going to overpay for Jake Arrieta to come home. Like,
I've read where Jake Arrieta may be coming home.
I mean, that'd be cool and all. But
what would be cooler is if he does come.
But he's not going to change the fortunes entirely by himself.
No.
There's got to be more behind just one good pitcher.
Right.
That we signed in the offseason, and he's unknown. And he had a really, really up and down season last year.
Yeah, but track record post Baltimore says he is a good established starting pitcher. And I feel like
April, May, and June last year said he's a really trash starting pitcher.
Yeah, but also statistics talks about the World Series hangover.
Yeah.
I mean, you got that to think about. So,
Think about.
But I think that Arrieta would be a good ad. A lot of people think the Rangers do have a lot of Arrieta promise. That story's been overshadowed by this Ohtani deal. And what we're going to talk about next, Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep. What about him?
Corey's over here chomping down on an alligator hush puppy.
I mean, they're pretty tasty.
They're not bad. I just want to know what part of the alligator I'm eating.
The tail, you dipshit.
Oh, is that what they cut off? You mean to tell me out of an 800-pound alligator, all they can fucking give me is the tail?
It's a giant tail, and it's full of muscles.
I don't want muscle. I want tender. Do they not have alligator
eat muscles?
Do they not have alligator breast?
It's always just the alligator tail. I've got a picture of myself holding an alligator tail, actually.
Well, look out. Of course you would from Lake Charles, you
of course
ass.
I would from Lake Charles, you coot ass.
Oh, but no. Giancarlo Stanton basically coming out saying, hey, you guys want to get rid of me? Well, here's 4 teams you should fucking call. The Yankees, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and everyone's newly found favorite team of years,
right,
the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros seem to be kind of like that nerdy dude that went off and got a good fucking job and come back to your 10-year reunion. And everybody's like, I always thought Todd Carrington was hot.
Dude, so you know what I would like to see is Giancarlo on the Astros, because you know what's going to turn into.
It's going to turn into a fucking bomb night.
No, it's going to turn into Albert Pujols' contract eventually, because it's impossible practically, until I'm proven wrong, that a contract of that magnitude, look, A-Rod, Albert Pujols, Prince Fielder, Josh Hamilton, all of these giant contracts.
Derek Jeter.
The players are great.
Derek Jeter.
For before that?
What about Derek Jeter?
And Derek Jeter, apparently. And
no,
for
Derek
the first
Jeter's
couple
contract
of years,
was awesome.
And for the first couple of years. But then they absolutely bomb as they get older.
We can't blame Derek Jeter
Even
for the
Miguel
bombing.
Cabrera right now
Miguel
is
Cabrera
about to be owned.
Fucked season last year.
He's about to be owed a shit ton of money over the next few years.
Right.
Another 5 probably.
Right.
And he's getting pretty old.
Right.
He had a shit season last year.
And that's going to be another fucking conversation we'll have is about
if he keeps
Ron
doing
Gardenhire
bad.
getting fucked this year.
Exactly.
He's going to be over there for 3 or 4 seasons. He ain't going to reap the benefits of that rebuild.
Right.
I'll tell you what needs to happen. This is going to be off subject. But that pitcher they got over there in Detroit, that
Who's
young
that?
gun, I can't remember his fucking name.
Okay, well, I'll look it up
but
for you.
He was
Keep
pitching
talking.
really good. He's a young gun. I think the Phillies ought to be looking at picking him up.
The Phillies need to pick everyone up.
Phillies need to do something, but I think that would be awesome because I was reading an article published by Bleacher Report, and it was talking about blockbuster trades that could happen, and that would be a doable trade. And one of them happened to be the pitcher that I said.
Hold on, what we got?
Would be. I am normally way more
Alcantara. We got
Michael Fulmer.
Fulmer. Yeah,
Yep.
not Mike Fiers. There we go. Oh, yeah. Also, he did go to the.
He was the AL Rookie of the Year the
Michael
year before
Fulmer.
last.
Yep.
He's 24 years old. He's under club control till 2022.
Yeah.
And, they're cleaning house. So why not? So the Philadelphia Phillies need this because they came off their worst year yet with 96 losses.
Yeah.
It would be a good move. I think that move's going to happen. I also saw one that was very interesting about Danny Duffy to the Chicago Cubs. If he can just stop being drunk and passed out in the Burger King parking lot.
Yeah. No, I don't know. There's definitely more hot stove action that could be had.
And I think this Ohtani thing is going to make hot stove.
What do you mean by that?
Because Ohtani's done. That's what we've all been waiting. That's what that's what all 30 clubs have been waiting on.
Right.
Is that, and as soon as we can fucking get rid of this Stanton deal. Stanton had the Giants and St. Louis just sitting there I mean, the tip of the dick in the mouth. Like, that was basically all that was happening with those two. And they're like, oh, we're going to do this. The thing that's selling about that is because they're trying to clear out debt. The old ownership of the Marlins put them in massive amounts of debt. Derek Jeter's like, I want to do it differently. I don't want to talk to the players. Derek Jeter's
what the ownership with Derek Jeter wants to do is have a payroll at about $70 million.
Right.
If you're a Marlins fan, I'm real sorry. Because you are about to be the Cincinnati Reds combined with the Milwaukee Brewers combined with the whoever the hell else.
And not as cool as the Oakland Athletics who did it.
Yeah, it's going to suck. I mean, they don't want to compete. They just want to have a shit team out there.
I mean,
he just wants to completely clear the payrolls and just go for like that Moneyball approach of
they're trying to get everything cleared out and rebuild. And the thing is it's going to take them this season, at least this season, maybe even next season, to get it cleared out. And then it's a 5-year rebuild.
Yeah.
Luckily, they sucked so much ass they don't have to worry about waiting for those top draft picks because they're right there for them.
Yeah.
They can keep Stanton and keep paying him, and they're still going to get that draft pick. It's a battle between them, the Athletics, and the fucking Phillies right now.
And Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers are fucking bombing. And that's the thing is a lot of people, I hear them talking about, Ron Gardenhire.
And White Sox and Braves.
Him and Buck Showalter are very similar. They're going to be the guy that turns the team around but never gets to reap the benefits. And it's sad that Ron Gardenhire, jumps at the opportunity to be a manager again after getting outed out in Minnesota. But is it going to come back to hurt him in the long run? And I think it will. But, a lot of people are saying it's good that it's happening to him because he's 60 years old. Mm-hmm. He's on his way out. It's not like a Bo Porter deal that was down in Houston. Porter finally getting an opportunity in a shit situation, and they fucking let him go.
Right.
So, he may never get the chance to be a big league manager again.
Well, if Aaron Boone can be a big league manager, then I think Bo Porter can get another try.
Aaron Boone has the opportunity. Mike Matheny hasn't worked out. I mean, the team was stacked enough for Matheny in the first few years that you couldn't go wrong. But this year is starting to show, hey, Matheny may not have it all together.
Yeah, we're talking about the Yankees.
We're talking about St. Louis. I'm saying Aaron Boone higher as opposed to Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny being a big player, they signed him as the manager. No managerial experience.
Right.
Aaron Boone has no managerial experience.
You go straight to the Yankees with no experience.
Right. Just
He's
like
a
Mike
sweet talker
Matheny went
with
right.
Cashman.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Mike Matheny went right to the Cardinals
Yeah.
with no managerial experience.
So lots
you
of question
have
marks. Exactly.
right. You have all these question marks. You have you have to wonder what's going on in the mind of these people. So I think Aaron Boone had a great career, and just listening to Aaron Boone on Sunday Night Baseball, Aaron Boone has a good clue.
Yeah. But
Now,
there's a lot of intelligent people who don't.
He knows
turn out
a
to be good
lot about
coaches.
baseball. The strategy side of baseball will be very interesting to see which approach he goes because he's used to playing in that pre-sabermetrics deal. He's used to doing all of the stuff that Joe Madden now looks at a piece of paper and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give Rizzo a second base, like a infielder's glove. It's going to move him over here. That way, if he's wearing that, then he's considered a fielder, so he can be closer on the sacrifice bunt. I don't think we're going to see that with him. I think he's going to have more of an old school approach. He's going to have no adult braces, so he's automatically going to be better than fucking, what was his name? I can't even remember his
Girardi.
name. Joe Girardi.
How can you?
You didn't have to fucking remember it anymore. It's so good to see him gone.
Happy to see him gone.
I'm happy that Gardenhire got an opportunity, but I think Aaron Boone will be very, very fun to watch. I think there's a lot of hype going on. He's got a young team. Also, really can't wait to watch Washington. I'm very, very excited to watch Washington.
Who'd they get again?
Alex Cora.
Yeah. So
this season will be fun with the new management in a lot of teams.
But see, when you have a young team like the Yankees, who you have, I feel like that's the biggest challenge. You have to get them over the hump and actually win the World Series. That's super challenging. Like, we're not just talking about after a couple of years. Corey. If he makes the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, Corey. That's not good enough. They already make the playoffs with the super young Yankees.
Corey, listen. They made the playoffs with the super young Yankees.
Yeah.
With all the teams now, with all the trades, with everything going on, this buys the Yankees a little bit more time. Because now the Yankees have 2 to 3 seasons of making the playoffs without making a World Series run before you really have to put a case of new management on the board.
No, the thing is, it's the Yankees, and they don't have any patience in New York, so it's going to be, we're talking 2 years.
They don't have patience in New York? They've got the fucking Mets. The Mets is the epitome of patience.
Nobody cares about them. And they turn over their management, and they have a shit. No, we're talking about the Yankees. You can't have the talent that they have on their roster and disappoint the fandom and the media there 2 straight years, hey, maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't, barely in, barely out, and then they disappoint. That's not going to be good enough going 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
He's not going to last
but
if that's the whole MO. This is a win over, you have a 5-year window. The Yankees have proven with a young team that they have the skills and the talent. You win over the next 5 years. That's their window. And if he doesn't prove that he can go past the first round of the playoffs, for instance, then no, he's not going to last a long time there because they're going to say, hey, we need somebody better because this is going to be the last half of our little window with all these talented players, not getting paid the big bucks yet, that they're going to try to make hay with that. They're going to need fresh blood in there.
Right.
So it's if you're a part of like a talented team's window where everyone proclaims that, hey, this is when you should be winning, you better win.
Well, and here's the other thing too that's been thrown around lately by both Buster Olney and Ken Rosenthal is the Yankees may end up landing something a little bit bigger. If they can land Stanton this year or they hold off, they may be able to bring that Las Vegas magic to the East Coast for both teams. That would be Bryce Harper being a Yankee, and that would be Chris Bryant being a Yankee.
Maybe.
Those teams, they say, has a better chance than the Cubs at getting both of those two together.
You never know, and It's going to be interesting to watch.
It'll be very, very fun to watch. But
I just,
you know what?
the stand's incredible, but I just have this dread of like, man, he'll give you a few good years, but that contract is going to end up being an albatross around a contending team's
and you've
neck.
got and the Marlins will take anything. Like I know the Marlins were shopping him with the Rangers, and they were willing to take Eric Nadel, an intern, and me, as long as we'll take on his contract.
That's the whole point.
And that's the problem, and that's why they're going to have such an issue is the 4 teams that Giancarlo Stanton, if you read your fucking show notes that I put down earlier today,
read it.
That, they've got teams that are already paying out high salaries. And they're already looking at, we have a winning recipe here without him. Why don't we give the money to the people that have gotten us here and not fuck with this dude?
Exactly. The Dodgers,
Dodgers'
secret to success this year was their young players.
Right.
The Yankees' secret to success this year was their young players. The Astros haven't paid the big bucks to Correa and Altuve yet.
Right. And their secret was tank for 3 or 4 fucking years, and you can have this.
Right, and that's the whole thing with the culture and everything is like, hey, you pay the guys who got you there. So we're looking at the Cubs and the Astros, recent World Series winners, who got you to, and the Dodgers getting to the World Series. Then you come in and you pay the outside guy.
Right.
I don't know. It screws with your locker room.
The
he
Astros,
doesn't perform. He gets injured, blah, blah, blah.
The Astros did it the right way. They brought in Brian McCann. They brought in Carlos Beltran. Carlos Beltran decides to retire after this year now. You've got Brian McCann. You've got these guys who were veteran leadership. So you're good to go. But
Stanton's not veteran leadership.
Right. And don't give me this sign. We're on the other one. We don't have a time limit on this one.
I'm giving you a time limit.
Oh, you're giving us a time limit? Well, I guess,
I'm not saying wrap it up this very moment, but I'm saying, hey, we've had a good show.
You're right. And you know what goes well with the hot stove?
What goes
cold beer.
Cold beers.
And what have you been drinking for the wintertime?
I don't know, something from Rogue, I think, over in Portland.
Okay.
Portlandia or West Coasty land.
I've been drinking the OG cider from Bishop Arts.
Oh, nice.
It's very good.
Arts District.
Yeah, it's really good. We've been doing that Pegasus City. Ciders in the wintertime. I like that.
Ciders are good in wintertime. You're right.
I like the old Shiner Cheer. Like, I know that's not still...
You really like it. True story.
I really do like the Shiner
24 of them like it. I'm just
11 a.m.,
Right. 11 p. You're just drinking the Shiner Cheer all day long.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck water today. I went to Deli News for breakfast, got corned beef hash. They're like, you want anything to drink? I'm like, I brought my own. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, Shiner Cheer is one of my favorites right now. I actually got them to make a drink here. They have a thing called the Maker's Mark Peach Tea. And I had them swap out the Maker's Mark and do the Tennessee Honey from Jack Daniels.
It's pretty good.
Drink. It was a tasty drink.
It's pretty good. Chase, what do they like to drink over in East Texas?
Dude, in East Texas, it's all about the Natty Light.
They like to drink that Lone Star.
They like the Lone Star. I love Lone Star, though.
It's
like Lone Star is that beer that, you got $6.
And you get 2 of them.
Man. You can get the 2 for $5 for the really big ones, or you can go over there to Walmart or Kroger and get the 6-pack tall boys for like $6.88.
Pretty much.
No, but I'll tell you what we are going to be looking forward to is 2019. I know it's almost
a long ways away.
It's a long way away, but
it's almost. We're only like 23 days away from 2018.
But what if I could tell you in 2019 there's going to be more professional baseball played in Texas?
There might be in like several teams. Right. Several cities.
Right.
Waco,
Royce City are the 2 main ones that have happened.
Jason wants to talk about the Southwest League.
Right.
It's going to be an independent baseball league that's popping up.
Right. And it's going to be in Royce City, has already signed. They're breaking ground probably in February on their new deal, basically right across I-30 from the new Buc-ee's that's being built. And they're going to have another team in Waco. They're breaking ground on that very soon. And
Them
it's the
Blue
South,
Cats?
the Blue Cats. So it's the Roy City Griffins, not like the Andy Griffith show, but the Griffins. It's a eagle-headed lion.
From Greek mythology.
Yes, Greeks, not the Romans. But they have that, and I'm assuming the Blue Cats is a blue catfish.
Sure, it's not
the aquatic
blue,
type?
blue painted panther.
No, it's not the Blue
cougar-y
Panther thing. No, it's a cat. It's fish.
Blue cat, got it.
But so
Kinda
they
like a
are
bluegill,
right,
but not quite.
No, not a spoonbill, but
Bluegill, you
oh,
idiot.
the bluegill. I thought you said spoonbill. I'm like, I love spoonbills. So, what's really cool is they've got Bump Wills,
yeah, I saw that.
who was a player for the Texas Rangers, been working with the Dallas Mustangs, and they called him up and they were like, "Hey, we want you to come manage our team." And so they're going to manage your team. What is awesome about this whole deal is that us, Chase and Corey, are going to be part of this
say
thing.
the words we.
We, here at Cold
Chase
Beers and
has been
Curveballs have decided that we're going to probably be a part of this. We really want to promote it. We really want to push it. We've been talking to Eddie from the Roy City Griffins. He's heading up everything.
We're super excited about this, but it is all in just a planning stage right now.
Right.
But I mean, what we would love to do is do play-by-play and do promotions for them. Chase and I both have East Texas roots, Oklahoma roots, Louisiana roots, places that are prime for teams in the Southwest League as they grow. These mid-sized towns that love their baseball, and they independent baseball leagues have had a tough time. And like one of the things that Southwest League is trying to do to change that equation is to make it get like a bigger development around the stadium.
Right.
So you have a nice stadium. You don't have just like a crappy stadium. And you've got like restaurants and bars and entertainment around it.
Right.
And so it's actually a fun place to go. Just like, look at Frisco Rough Riders. Like, they're surrounded by things to do.
Did you see the pictures that they posted last night? They had the outline of the diamond in Christmas lights.
Nice.
It was really nice looking.
Yeah. So they're really working hard at trying to make this a success. And it's something that we're trying to be a part of.
I mean, think about it. Roy City has what, like 3,500 to 5,000 people?
They've got a really nice high school for that small town.
They do. And a really nice football field.
Yeah.
Like, it's a small town.
Not a ton of people. Absolutely. That's about your size. But tons of people are moving out there. People keep moving to Rockwall and Prosper and Salina and all these edge exurbs of Dallas.
Right.
Dallas, the DFW area keeps growing, and people move to Rockwall to find space, and they move past Rockwall to find space.
Right.
And they end up in towns like, Hope and Terrell and Roy City and,
Fate, things like that.
Yeah,
Josephine, all those places. And so you got that fan
land
base
to be had and nice houses and, a good life, and it's not a very far commute to get to Dallas.
Right. Plus, the city of Roy City is allowing the Griffins to come in, and the Griffins are then allowing the Roy City team, the Roy City High School, access to the stadium. So they're going to do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we want to be a part of that fun. And in the coming weeks, in the coming months, we'll have a little bit more to share on it. But the Southwest League is coming to fruition. From what I've spoken with Eddie, is that there will be 6 teams for the inaugural season. And who knows, there may be the Cold Beers and Curveballs press box popping up out in Roy City where we will be having all of the fun.
It would be so much fun.
I know the Lloyd, he's out by Roy City.
This whole show, it's all wrapping up so that you can mention Lloyd Stevens.
Lloyd Stevens.
The Lloyd.
Lloyd Stevens will be making his appearance during the 2018 season. So that's going to probably do it for us for at least... We'll probably have something next week, maybe the week after that. It is my birthday, and so that celebration carries on.
Everyone's going to have a holiday break.
We got winter meetings. We got winter meetings.
We got free agent news. But, yeah, you're probably going to get little content. You're going to get, there's going to be stuff on Twitter, because I'm staying active on Twitter, of course. Right. There's going to be stuff on, Instagram and Facebook. Well, there might not be a whole episode. There might just be a little bit of updates.
Right. So what if I was to tell you that
and get ready in March?
What if I told you that come after Christmas,
Yeah.
we could have the one and only Babe Ruthless on Cold Beers and Curveballs?
Is she the Babe Ruthless of Japanese baseball?
No. Babe Ruthless is the founder of Charge the Mound.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Which has a initiative to get girls back into baseball. Not softball, but baseball. Just a little bit backstory on her. She was a girl who basically between the ages of 13 and 15 was basically told, hey, you can't play baseball anymore. And she doesn't want that to happen to other girls. And I think now that she has her own baby girl that she had 2 months ago, that's kind of going to, put a fire under her ass to even work harder at what she's doing. She's done a lot of good work. A lot of good people have noticed her, and we want to have her on. Thing is she is a Houston fan. So she's not used to talking to us Rangers fans. So there may be a little heated thing, but she doesn't really have to worry because all they know how to do is...
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
So she'll probably be rubbing it in our face because all it seemed like the Astros did last year was win. Although I believe the Rangers did come out with the silver boot. But she's been flashing some bling on Instagram. Follow her, guys. It's babe.ruthless on Instagram. She's got a picture of her with an Astros World Series ring.
I don't know.
So, maybe this will be something for the 2018 season that she can give us a little bit ahead. She can give us a little bit ahead. She can give us a little bit of headway. God damn it. She can give us a little bit of headway into the Astros. Don't wave your hand.
Did you want to say inside or something?
Inside or headway. I've heard people use the word headway. But give us a little bit more an eye-opening experience with the Astros, because we do talk about the Astros. I tried my damnedest to cover the Astros as much as I fucking could, but she's down there living the Astro life.
Yeah.
She's at the parades and shit like that.
Totally.
I think that will be something interesting. So she should be on for the January edition of Cold Beers and Curveballs.
That'd be pretty cool.
So we were going to try to have her last season, but she was in the middle of baby growing. And according to my Ruthless, that's a lot of work. So definitely be looking for that. Corey, you got any baseball gifts on your Christmas list?
Nah.
No.
Maybe a better hat.
Yeah,
it's on
Corey.
My Christmas list.
Corey didn't like his dad hat. I may get him a California Angels hat with the Otani and Japanese on the side. I was gonna pick him up a Fireflies hat at the old Lids the other day for Tim Tebow.
Dear.
Yeah, I just can't.
I think that's what's wrong with my life right now. Is there's no Tebow time.
There is not. Do you want me to make up a fake?
No. I want to wrap this show.
Oh, he wants to wrap this show up. So, in honor of Corey wanting to wrap this show up, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to us on iTunes, Google Play, whatever. Cold Beers and Curveballs for Facebook and Instagram. CB and CB Podcast on Twitter. Check us out. Follow us, like us, get more people to follow us, and until next time, keep drinking those cold beers and try to find you some baseball. The Dominican Winter League's playing, so you can pick that up sometimes on the MLB Network. But we'll see you guys next time.
Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God. Play me some songs about a